Coming at you with an inspiring story about Ryan, a father of two. He travels a lot. He's in tech sales, managing a lot of contracts and client development, relationships, and Vegas conferences. This is episode 86 of the Driven for Health podcast. Today, we're going to go through his story of dropping over 45 pounds of fat, talk about how strong this guy is and the goal to maintain his strength and muscle along the way. We're going to hear about some of the flexible approach that we use, some of the basics around nutrition that really helped Ryan succeed, and sustainable habits that got him to keep the weight off. He's successfully been able to stay stable for months after this interview. Kick back, take some notes, and look how you can apply some of these strategies to improve your life, your health, your fitness. Welcome, everyone. This is Coach Brian. I'm talking with Ryan, one of my clients. We've been at it for a couple months, and I wanted to share his story. I think it's a powerful one for a lot of men to connect with. He's a father of two. He sells software and software sales and tech. I've actually worked with some of his other buddies because of good old word of mouth referrals and the progress that he's seen in our process together. And we'll certainly go into that and why this time it works. And he really wanted to get his body back. You can tell this guy's got some guns here. And so he wants to show these on the beach and just also to be around for his kids as well. Ryan, welcome to the call and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you having me. So, yeah, like Brian mentioned, I'm a father of two. I work in the software sales field. Been on this journey with Brian for a little over 12 months right now, and just saw a ton of results. So, excited to continue on the process. I hit my initial goal, and I guess we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, we're gonna turn him into the Hulk with that muscle mass he's got, and he'll be looking super strong and real good. All right. Well, what were some of the results that we had together, Ryan?
Yeah, I think when I initially found you and reached out and started searching for a program that would work. I weighed about 265, so I was kind of hitting my peak weight, I would say.
Right.
A lot of that has to do with, busy with work, two little kids, 2 and 1 year old,
Yeah.
and just the time, right?
The
There
thick
was
of
not a
it.
lot of time. Now 12 months later, I'm hovering just under, 220, which is a good weight for me. And
Right.
my initial goal was, to be under 230. So that's where we're at. And
Yeah.
I guess we'll see where we go from here. But super happy with the results. I haven't had that much weight loss, and you know, with anything I've ever tried. So
I think it puts us at about 45 pounds, give or take,
40,
right?
yeah, 45 altogether. So
Yeah, that's
it's
incredible.
a
Not
it's
only
a good
to
chunk.
get it off, but to keep it off. And what were you trying on your own beforehand that just didn't connect the dots for you?
Yeah, probably everything that people have seen on social media.
Yeah.
From keto diets to running to fasting to all the trendy stuff. And you lose a few pounds here and there, and it'd shoot right back up. If you ever cheated on it at all. So
Oh, yeah.
there's no consistency. I mean, I could always get 5 or 10 pounds off, and nothing really stuck. And so I really wanted to go find an expert. I just started digging some around, and you and I didn't even know each other before, right?
Right.
It just quick Google search and found your page. I saw a ton of customer references that were
Yeah.
really
Thank you.
good ones, and that drove me kind of gave you a call. And then when you kind of broke down your process and your program, it kind of resonated with me. So I gave it a try, and here we are,
Here we are,
12 months later, and the
still at it.
results are where I wanted them. So
Yeah.
couldn't
What
be
were some
happier.
of the processes that were different from some of the things that you tried in the past? Like the no carbs, the running, like what seemed to click for you?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's it's really math, right? It's just like calories in versus calories out. And my problem was it was always like highly restricted, right? So like
Yeah.
zero carbs or like no eating before, I don't know, 1 o'clock, right?
Oh,
And then
right.
you know with having two little kids and being kind of in the prime of my career, traveling, things like that restriction doesn't help a lot. So your program offered the flexibility to, continue to go take my kids out for ice cream or take a
Right.
client to lunch and not have to look weird with like nothing on your plate, but just being mindful of how to build that plate so that you know, the math checked out, right? Just do it
Right.
consistently. And it wasn't honestly it wasn't extremely hard either. That was the other
Oh,
key
yeah.
was
Right.
it was something I could do for obviously now we're 12 months in and
Right.
hasn't been an issue.
Simple as easy, easy gets done. And when you have it like that, that allows for the process to be repeatable, regardless of the other extenuating circumstances you have. Young kids, I have four of them. I've been there, done that. Well, our first pair were 15 months apart. And I
Yep.
opened a business, a gym. I started my first gym at that time. It was bananas trying to manage all that stuff. That's one way to go about it. I would not do that again, though. You travel a lot too. You were just in Vegas for
Mhm.
what, a week for training, and they had you open to close and work, but then also client meals and such. And what were some of the tips and tricks that you use to not fall victim to the circulating snack cart that gets passed around, or having endless opportunity to wine and dine and drink your Coors Light and all?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think one of the things about your program is you learned a skill that, you can apply to everything in your life, right? So like
Right.
learning about, what to put on the plate from loading it up with vegetables to fill you up and being mindful of what, carb, you know, I guess size looks like, right? So
Right.
to know like, hey, this is X amount of carbs and then be mindful of kind of like the proteins you put on your plate too. People will see this when they dive in, but knowing the ratios of protein to fat. So over time, I know initially I'm working really close with you, sending a picture of every single meal and saying,
Right.
hey, what does this look like? And I think as I progressed, I developed that skill to where
Right.
I can recognize it on my own, and I can quickly say, hey, lunch is that's a 7 ounce chicken breast. There's half a cup of rice and there's 3 cups of vegetables, and yeah, I know it to track still. Yeah, to
Right.
answer your question, doing that on the road, it's being
Right.
mindful of that stuff and being mindful of what that plate looks like, and then if lunch is call it 900 calories, and I know I've got X amount left for dinner, and just be consistent with that.
Right.
So
Eh,
learning this skill.
it's a transferable skill, the things that we did. I always say
Yep.
this phrase: what we do in 2 weeks, we do in 2 months, we do in 2 years. We're stacking lifestyle behavior changes on top of just science-backed information around nutrition, around fitness, and then we have to thread it through the needle and get it to all work for you in the craziness of your life or anyone else's life. And those are, I guess, where the real coaching has come into play over thousands of conversations over the last 23-ish years or something, that I can hear and listen to what the client needs. In your case, with around you, travel, young family, and you still want to maintain muscle mass and strength, right? What's been going on with strength while we have
Yeah.
lost 45 pounds? Because I know that
Yeah.
that's hasn't changed much.
It really hasn't. I mean, I would say, if I went on a keto diet in the past, I like to lift weights. I like to do it a couple times a week, maybe
Right.
4 or 5, right? And then if I would go on a keto diet, my strength would just kind of, you know, completely tank, right? By the end
Right.
of the couple weeks, I was, going from what I could do 10 reps, and then I was down to like 3 or 4. And, with you, I'm, maintaining really the same thing the whole time. So down 45 pounds, I could still push around the same amount of weight
Yeah.
I was at 265. But I'll say this, I can run a lot better. What used to be a struggle to run, maybe called 3 miles, it's really not anymore because you're not carrying around that weight vest of fat, I'll call it. Right.
45-pound
So
weight vest is
yeah,
it gets heavy pretty quick.
yeah, it makes a huge difference. So I would say strength hasn't dropped at all. And, the running has gotten a lot better just because I'm not carrying
Right.
around the excess weight anymore. So
Right. And right now you're keeping up with diapers and bedtime
oh yeah,
routines and all, but in the near
yep,
future you're going to be running around chasing balls and taking kids to events and activities and stuff because that's the type of father and family that you have, and you'll need that energy to keep up with them.
yeah, yeah. That's the other
And
thing. I mean, big
when it gets
motivator.
further, my son, both my kids, we went on a 3 mile run with Levi and Everett yesterday, 3 miles. I was able to keep up. Unfortunately, they are faster than me now. It's sad to say, running, I have ran marathons and all, but running isn't, say, my strongest suit as it once was in the past. I still can run, but I do a lot more weightlifting myself. But it was nice to, hey guys, we want to go run. And we just took the nice summer night, blue sky, sunshine, and got our sweat on and just spent some time together. And those are some connecting, bonding moments that you'll have as a father with your kids that you'll be able to leverage for years to come. And your kids will always, always know you as a healthy individual that took care of themselves and was able to be there for them and help them do things and even move furniture when they're, in their 20s or something, right? Like, hey dad, I need some help, so I need handy dad to come over, or need you to move some things, and you'll be able to show up and help them, which is part of being a father, I find, for
Yeah,
sure.
100%. I think it's it's really just about kind of setting the right example for your kids. I mean, if
Right.
if I'm not doing it, how can I tell them to do it? If I'm not eating right,
Right.
I'm not taking care of myself, then why would
Right.
they? Maybe
And
they choose to do it on their own, but if I can set them on the right path, then I have a lot more,
right.
I guess, say in what they're going to do. So
Right. The congruency matters in
yeah,
fatherhood and business. Imagine that being able to show up with energy, being productive, you can get your job done, show up, people, respect you. Obviously, you've referred a number of other men over and they look up to you. They see you as a fitness figure in a sense that's successful, and that's really great.
absolutely.
So speaking of that, if you were to talk to Ryan back in the day, 45 pounds heavier, or some other people in your circle, what would you tell them about the process or the advice or the things that they should do to get them in a better position?
Yeah, I would say this. I mean, the world of fitness and nutrition advice is a really crowded market. If anybody has Instagram or, any of the TikToks or things like
Right.
that, I mean, you can't scroll more than 30 seconds without finding somebody with an ad on their program. I think that
Right.
the problem is like because we see that so much, we just think all those programs are just they
The
don't work,
same.
right? Like it looks cool, it sounds cool, but it's never going to work for me. And that's why and I never followed one of those, but I would say, like with you, and that's why it's all references, right? That I've been
Right.
sending over. It's people that, I've worked with a long time. They trust me. I wouldn't
Right.
send them into something I didn't believe in. And, yeah, I mean, it works. And you've seen the results from those people. They've all had results.
Yes.
I've seen 3 or 4 friends that I've sent your way lose 20 to 30 pounds and
Yep.
they've all done it. I don't think
Yep.
anybody's failed. So,
Yep.
what I would say to those people is, yeah, I mean, your program works, but it's not just that. It's like you're learning a skill so that you don't really go back into that trap of, where you were before. It's not like I'm going to take, 3 months, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and then look good for the summer and then gain it all back. It's,
Right.
it's a skill that you've learned and now you're mindful, forever. I know we keep the weight off now. I think I got down to this weight maybe 6 months ago and had no problem maintaining it for the last six
Right.
months. And
Right.
I don't see myself ever getting back there. So that's what I'd say is, yeah, program works. You're going to learn something. It's a transferable skill. Yeah.
Yep.
I just
I appreciate that.
high reference. Yeah.
Yep, yep. You will get results.
Yeah. That's the
That's the
key.
way it
Right.
works. So excellent. Well, if you've been inspired by Ryan's story or things that we talked about today, consider reaching out. I run a men's group, the Call to Rise, where we bring to like-minded individuals like Ryan you can be hanging out with to have a strong connection in the mind, the body, and be able to facilitate over 100 days to help not only lose weight but be a better man too. I think it's not by coincidence that these things level up together and that we can form our initial bond through fitness and taking care of ourselves and eating better and doing those things. And then that unifies us even stronger to fulfill on the goals and to maintain them sustainably long term with a family, with all the responsibilities that you have. So check us out. I appreciate your time, Ryan, and I thank you for watching. And off we go. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll catch you in the call to rise. That is a wrap. I hope that you enjoyed Ryan's story, how he shared about all the challenges that he faces every day with young family, with travel, with the things that make up his day-to-day life. And you identify with someone, because that's who I'm talking to, a bunch of Ryans. Even on the Eating on the Go guide, which was episode 79, I referenced Ryan. He was the guy that I had in mind going through the different types of food situations and scenarios. So you can not only go back and listen to episode 79 of how you should eat on the go, whether you're at home, you're traveling, you're fast fooding, family dinners, whatever, but you also can download the guide. I'll have it in the show notes for you to be able to do so as well. So check that out too. Remember, sustainable change is about building habits and fitting it into your everyday life. We want to skip the fads, the diets, different things that get you stuck. They do not work, and they are just a trap for you ultimately that says that gives you the wrong impression about what fat loss looks like and weight maintenance looks like too. Jump in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.